Most men over 60 are following the same training program that's keeping them weak. I'm watching you do higher reps, lighter weights, endless cardio because someone told you that's safer. It's not safer, it's just less effective. Only 15% of men your age are actually building visible muscle, and they're doing the opposite of what you've been told. How to build lean muscle after 60 isn't about training less. It's about training smarter with movements your body actually responds to now. There's one shift in how you program your week that separates guys who transform their physique from those who stay frustrated for years. I'm breaking down exactly what that is, why it works, and what you're doing wrong right now. But first, you need to understand what actually happens to muscle growth after 60. Number 1, the reality check. Your body at 60 doesn't respond to training the same way it did at 35. That's not defeat, that's biology. And once you understand what's actually changed, you can work with it instead of against it. Traditional bodybuilding programs fail after 60 because they're built for hormonal conditions you don't have anymore. Testosterone declines about 1% every year after 30. By 60, you're sitting at roughly 70% of what you had in your prime. Growth hormone drops even harder, sometimes 50% or more. Recovery takes longer. Joint wear is real. Your central nervous system fatigues faster under heavy loads. So what happens? You follow a program designed for a 30-year-old. You train chest on Monday, legs on Thursday, back on Saturday. You go heavy, you push hard, you're sore for days. But nothing changes. Weeks turn into months. You're spinning your wheels because the frequency is too low and the recovery debt is too high. Or you go the other direction. Someone tells you to back off entirely. Use resistance bands. Do body weight circuits. Keep it light and safe. You're moving, sure, but there's zero tension, zero progressive overload, and zero reason for your body to build new muscle. You're maintaining at best, declining at worst. I've watched my own father fall into this trap. 3 months of training, like he did in his 40s, grinding through soreness, zero visible progress, almost ready to quit. Then we made one adjustment to how often he trained each muscle, and everything changed. The guys who actually transform their physique after 60 aren't training harder, they're training smarter. They understand something about recovery and frequency that most men completely miss. Before we get to the movements that work, you need to understand what's happening hormonally and why that's actually good news for building muscle right now. Number 2, the hormonal truth. Lower testosterone and growth hormone don't mean you can't build muscle. They mean you need a different strategy to trigger it. Muscle protein synthesis, the actual process of building new tissue, still works perfectly well after 60. Research shows that older muscles respond to resistance training almost as robustly as younger muscles when the stimulus is right. The difference? Your anabolic window is shorter and your recovery timeline is longer. You've got about 48 hours of elevated protein synthesis after training a muscle, not 7 days. That changes everything. Most men make 3 critical mistakes based on outdated advice. Mistake 1, training each muscle once per week. You hit chest on Monday, wait until next Monday to train it again. But your growth signal peaked Tuesday afternoon and shut off by Wednesday night. You just wasted 5 days of potential progress. Mistake 2, chasing the pump with high reps and lightweight. Feels good in the moment, burns, looks full, but there's not enough mechanical tension to force adaptation. You're getting a temporary flush of blood, not a growth stimulus your body has to respond to. Mistake 3, copying programs from younger lifters. 20 sets for chest in one session, training to absolute failure on every set. Your nervous system can't recover from that volume anymore. You're digging a hole, not building muscle. Insulin sensitivity actually improves with proper resistance training at your age. That's huge. It means your body can partition nutrients toward muscle tissue more effectively than it did when you were sedentary in your 40s. You're not fighting a losing battle. You're working with biology that responds incredibly well to the right approach. One of my clients, 64, spent 2 years doing circuit training and light dumbbells because his doctor said, be careful. Maintained his dad bod perfectly. We switched him to heavier loads, slower tempos, and higher frequency. 12 weeks later, his arms looked completely different. The movements you choose matter more now than they ever did. 3 exercises done right will build more muscle than 10 exercises done wrong. That's where we're going next. The exact lifts that protect your joints while maximizing tension. Number 3, the core 3 movements. You don't need a dozen exercises. You need 3 movements that load your body safely while creating enough tension to force adaptation. First, the trap bar deadlift. This isn't your conventional barbell deadlift from the floor. The trap bar puts you in a more neutral spine position, reduces shear force on your lower back, and still hammers your entire posterior chain. Glutes, hamstrings, traps, grip. You're building functional strength that translates to real life. Picking things up, staying powerful, looking solid from behind. Second, the incline press. Flat bench is murder on aging shoulders. The incline angle, around 30 to 45 degrees, keeps your shoulder joint in a safer position while targeting your upper chest and front delts. This builds the thickness across your upper body that actually shows in a shirt. Plus, it's the difference between looking broad or looking narrow as you age. Third, goblet squats or belt squats if you've got access. These keep the load off your spine while still challenging your quads and glutes. Your knees stay in a better position than back squats, and you can go deep without compensation patterns. Strong legs aren't just about aesthetics. They're about staying mobile, independent, and capable for the next 20 years. The execution matters more than the weight on the bar. Most men waste their first set entirely by going too heavy too soon. That first set should be activation, waking up the muscle, grooving the pattern, preparing your nervous system. Then you ramp up. Use a tempo of 3 to 1, 1, 1. 3 seconds down, 1 second pause, 1 second up, 1 second squeeze at the top. That time under tension is what triggers growth, not how much you're lifting. Stay in the 6 to 10 rep range. You're chasing mechanical tension, not ego. Control beats chaos every single time. But the real game changer isn't what you do in the gym, it's how often you're doing it. Most men get the frequency completely backwards, and it's costing them months of progress. That one shift I mentioned at the start, it's not about adding more exercises or training harder. Number 4, the one shift. Frequency beats volume. Every single time. Training each muscle 2 to 3 times per week with lower volume per session destroys the old school approach of hitting it once with massive volume. Your protein synthesis window is open for about 48 hours after you train. If you're only stimulating that muscle once a week, you're leaving 5 days of potential growth on the table. Gone. Wasted. This goes against everything you've been told. The traditional bodybuilding split, chest Monday, back Wednesday, legs Friday, was built for enhanced athletes whose recovery and growth signals stay elevated much longer. You're natural. Your hormones are lower. Your body needs frequent reminders to build, not one brutal beating per week. Training Monday and Thursday for lower body, Tuesday and Friday for upper body. 45 minutes max per session. 8 to 12 total work sets, not 20 plus. You're in and out. Less systemic fatigue. More practice with good movement patterns. Consistent stimulus means consistent growth signals. One of my clients is 67. Former runner, lean his whole life, never lifted seriously. We shifted him from 3 full body sessions per week to 4 focus sessions, 2 lower, 2 upper. Same total weekly volume, just spread out differently. 6 months later, he'd added 8 pounds of muscle, not by grinding harder, by training smarter and giving his body what it actually needed to recover and adapt. You'll feel stronger every session because you're not buried under fatigue. Your joints will thank you because the load is distributed across the week instead of stacked in one punishing day. And you'll actually look forward to training because you're seeing progress instead of spinning your wheels month after month. But training frequency means nothing if your recovery is a mess. Most men are losing 40% of their results outside the gym. And it's not what you think. Sleep matters, sure, but there's something else quietly sabotaging your progress that almost nobody addresses. Number 5, recovery and nutrition. Recovery isn't just sleep. It's active work that determines whether your training actually builds muscle or just beats you down. Walking 6,000 to 8,000 steps daily does more for recovery than lying on the couch. It increases circulation, improves insulin sensitivity, and clears metabolic waste from your muscles without adding fatigue. 10 minutes of daily mobility work, not stretching, actual movement, keeps your joints healthy and your range of motion intact. Heat and cold contrast, whether it's a sauna followed by a cold shower or just alternating temperatures in your own bathroom, manages inflammation better than popping ibuprofen. But nutrition is where most men over 60 completely miss the mark. You need more protein than you think, not less. Research shows that older men require higher protein intake to stimulate the same muscle protein synthesis response as younger men. You should be hitting 1.0 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. If you weigh 150 pounds, that's a minimum of 120 grams daily. 30 to 40 grams within 90 minutes after training. Each meal should contain at least 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine, the amino acid that flips the switch on muscle growth. Don't fear carbs around your training sessions. Insulin is anabolic. It drives nutrients into muscle tissue. A banana and some rice post-workout aren't sabotaging your physique. They're supporting recovery and growth. Spreading protein across 3 to 4 meals beats cramming it into 2 massive servings. Your body can only process so much at once. Give it steady fuel throughout the day. Most men think they're eating enough protein until they actually track it for 3 days. They're shocked. You might be at 60 or 70 grams, wondering why nothing's changing. That's your answer right there. Nutrition gets this backwards at your age. The mainstream advice says, eat less, cut calories, go lighter. That's maintenance thinking. You're trying to build, feed the process. But there's one more factor that's killing progress for men your age, and almost nobody talks about it. It's not training, it's not nutrition, it's something quieter. Here is the truth about building lean muscle after 60. 3 movements that protect your joints while creating real tension. Training each muscle 2 to 3 times per week instead of once. More protein than conventional advice tells you, 120 grams minimum, spread across your day. Recovery that goes beyond sleep, and the courage to admit that stress might be undoing everything else you're doing right. This isn't about proving anything to anyone else. It's about looking in the mirror 6 months from now and seeing visible progress. Feeling stronger when you pick things up, moving better, knowing you're doing this the right way instead of guessing and hoping. The men who dial this in don't just look different, they feel like they've reclaimed something they thought was gone. That sense of capability, that quiet confidence that comes from getting stronger instead of weaker. You're not managing decline, you're building forward. Most guys over 60 are following advice designed for younger men or watered down programs that keep them spinning their wheels. You don't have to be one of them anymore. You've got everything you need right here. If this helped you see training differently, do me a favor. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. I'm breaking down exactly how to structure your weekly split, the biggest mistakes that kill muscle gains after 60, and the mindset shifts that separate the men who transform from those who stay stuck. This channel is built for guys who are serious about their physique and tired of generic advice that doesn't work. You've got decades ahead of you. Make them strong ones. Now go build.